Hey everybody, it's Michael with Bay Area Hiking Guides, giving that information, giving that knowledge to hike with confidence. And up here, we're going to be exploring some real ancient trees way up in Ohlone. Alright, stay tuned. So we've traveled all the way up here in Ohlone Wilderness, past Marietta Falls, an area that doesn't get a lot of travel. And there is a ton of ancient old trees in this area. I just was blown away with the abundance amount of ancient trees. So come along with us. We've got some California buckeyes that are really old. I got some black oaks that are really old. I got a canyon oak that's really old. I got this beautiful blue behind me that's also way up there. And as well as some valleys. Alright guys, let's go ahead and continue this journey. I can't wait to show you the stuff out here. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start from Lichen Bark section. They actually have bathrooms down there, a whole bunch of amount of parking, and then water and everything to get all prepared and ready to go to head on up to Sailor Camp Trail. So we're starting off at, what was the mileage there? So, I mean, not mileage, the elevation, 750. And then we're going to end up going all the way up past 3,000 feet. So we're going to start off, and me and Beth are kind of discussing everything we're going to do for the day, and then also for the next day and the day after that. This is always a good thing to be doing with your team, to make sure that everybody's kind of on the same page, and you each have a map. And it's always good. Also, you notice Beth has got a little bag of food there. Great idea. You want to consistently keep energy in your body and keep pumping it every 15 minutes if you can. Keep it in your pocket. Just get some nutrients and energy in you all the time. So permits that you get to get into Ohlone are real cheap. They're just a few bucks. You can get them right there at the station when you get into Del Val. You can order them online, call them in, go to the office in Oakland, and then the permit for the backpacking is $5 each night. So that's a pretty cheap price compared to what it costs to get a hotel these days. So that's really beneficial, and then there's also the parking permit that you need to get. I think that was a few bucks as well. I cannot remember the exact amount for that, but they'll get that for you as well. So these are the backpacking permit, and then also the permit to get into Ohlone Wilderness. I highly recommend anybody that can to get out there to Ohlone Wilderness and check it out if you're more of a moderate to advanced hiker, because there's some really cool stuff up in there. But if you're not, that's okay. That's why I've got this. That's why I've got this video out. So we're going to wander up. I noticed a lot of the blue oaks right now, currently when I shot this in October, are already starting to change that browny yellow color, so that was pretty cool to check out. And we're going to wander on up. This is the section where it's not the big burn, but it definitely is a little bit challenging, and I would say for the beginner hiker, this is not recommended. You are going to be running into some challenges. So now we're up here, and this is below Boyd Camp, the water here. So take this into account. We have water. You need to filter this, boil this, or you need to put a chemical in there to clean the water. I have uses to do all three of those things, but the water is untreated, so you need to treat it as soon as you can, and you do not want to drink it without it being treated. Trust me. They do have it here, but the only issue with this one is that you've got to do quite a bit of work to go down there and get it and then bring it back up. You've definitely going to be dropping down a few hundred feet and then going back up a few hundred feet, and it's about a little bit more than a quarter mile. So they also have water here. If that goes out, you do have that option that you can filter this. I would rather just take it off the other faucet there, but hey. And the water's okay tasting. It's not great. I was not a big fan of it, but it did the job. Beth didn't mind it at all. She actually kind of liked it. But as for me, I just, personal preference. Here comes Beth, just rocking it. I was just looking forward to seeing these trees ready to go. Now, they told Beth she wasn't able to be able to walk again. She had broke her back, pinched her spinal cord, and they said the likelihood of you walking again is pretty unlikely. Well, let that explain that, huh? You want inspiration? There's some inspiration for you right there. Now, she's carrying about a 22, 23-pound pack on her and just trekking on up. What a trooper. Just champion. There she is. And this is a steep ravine that the steep drop-off, steep incline that you got to go down to go get that water and then come back up to camp. So, and we're almost at camp. We're about halfway from, well, we're getting there. So it is a little bit of a journey. And they do have another trail that you can take to get down to the water, but that's single track. It's a little bit less steep and gravelly, but still there's a little bit of challenge in there. There she is. As you can notice, Beth has got her coffee filter thing all ready to go. Beth doesn't have coffee. Yeah. So this is Boyd Camp. Phenomenal camp. Absolutely gorgeous. Just stunning. One of my favorite camps to camp in the Bay Area. Boyd Camp is just remarkable. Incredible views at night. You see Littlemore. Just impeccable. I'll go ahead and I'm going to let you guys go to one of my other clips where I talk about what's going on. Nice little climb. And we are just surrounded by an abundance of blue oaks. All the blue oaks that we're running into are younger, so they're not too old, but they're all starting to change and turn into that orange color. So this is going to give me a pretty good amount of confidence and faith that once we get up higher, a few more 1,000 feet, that we might have a chance to get some of these ancient black oaks at a good color of orange. I came across the basically grandmother of all these blue oaks around here. She is just fascinating, and she is a blue and massive and got this really cool looking look to her. Just absolutely beautiful, and we're gonna go and I'll get you a more up close look at her. I can tell that a lot of the trees up here are very healthy, doing very well, especially this one here. I've heard a lot about the trees being gigantic here, and this is proof of that. She looks beautiful and very healthy tree indeed. I mean, there's a few things, you know, she's lost some branches and stuff, but she's looking pretty sharp, especially as you're looking at her from a distance. This tells me the nutrients in the soil must be really good. Some good stuff, good nutrients and minerals in the soil for these beautiful oaks to grow. No one ever told me about you. I'm glad we got to meet, though. Wonderful. Well, let's go ahead and get a little closer look at her. And she is at 2,240 feet up, just slightly below Boyd Camp and to the right as you're coming up the trail, the Ohlone Wilderness Trail. And this is one of many ancient trees, one of many. We just started running into them. I have a very deep connection with trees, especially oaks, especially black oaks. I'm just absolutely just stunned by their beauty, and this blue is remarkable. Alright everybody, so got up early in the morning at about 6 a.m. and just was at complete awe the beauty that was surrounding me, especially when you have that morning light. It's just gorgeous. The moon came out quite early last night, and it was a big, massive moon, kind of an orangey yellow color for a little bit. Beautiful. So around me is a bunch of blue oaks, a few valleys in here, but mainly blues. And they are transitioning currently right now, quite a bit actually. Some of them aren't so much, but so the grandmother tree that I saw last night, that I showed you guys, she didn't seem to be having any signs of transformation yet. So that'll be beautiful when that finally eventually takes place, only in time. And I'm looking forward to continuing to head on up. We decided to go down last night and get water, and you got to drop down a few hundred feet and then come back up a few hundred feet on a steep climb. And we thought that would probably just be better to get that out of the way. We got 4 miles ahead of us. All right, guys, stay tuned and let's continue on. It was a really nice harvest hunter's moon that we saw that night. It was pretty awesome to see that. So we're continuing on, and we're going to be heading down eventually and then climb up to the big berm, and we're going to go down. Beautiful ridge here, just absolutely stunning. And then we're going to go down that canyon there and then back up the hill. Looking forward to that, which is Williams Gulch at 1,890 feet. Really good for photography, so if you only want to do a few miles, you can head on up here and take some pretty cool shots. I really liked it. So I've noticed a lot of mineral deposits, a lot of rocks in the areas, and this probably has a lot to do with the account of the success of these trees and their health and size. A lot of rocks, just in so many areas, just tons of them, not like a ton of clay in a lot of the areas we have in the Bay Area. And this is Sycamore Flat at 2,000 feet. Now, Sycamore Flat, there was a huge sycamore tree, just absolutely massive, just overtowering us. As I dug further in and we got into Williams Gulch there at 1,890 feet, a lot of this fall color here, a lot of big leaf maples in here. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And it really had that kind of mystical kind of feel to it. Really just incredible, and I'll give you guys a moment to kind of take that in. These are some white elders coming along the creek here. There was a lot of pretty good color in the creek just in general, not from the white elders, but from a lot of the big leaf maples and poison oak they had in here. Now we're just going to climb on up. This is a really cool section too. I definitely enjoy it. It's probably going to be really nice in the spring as well, but just beautiful. A lot of California bays as we push forward. You can see some of the California bays here, all at a bay leaf on the ground. So this is a ancient black oak, or what's left of it. Just absolutely stunning and remarkable as we continue to push up from Williams Gulch. Just beautiful tree. Here I am, just kind of getting connected to the tree. And it's got some poison oak around it too. I don't get affected by poison oak that much. Alright, so we're higher up now, and we're running into, this is probably about 2,500 feet, and I'm running into this grass here. This is bunch grass. This is actually the native grass in California. This is what should be all over the hills in California, but it's not due to the fact that we have a bunch of invasive non-native grasses taking over. I found a ton of this grass, Tyler, by the way, all over the place. in this one section. Just totally taking over. So as we push forward, I went up, we climbed higher up, getting close to the famous rock. We'll get to that in a minute. And a lot of blues. He's just starting to turn a little bit. Some valleys. It's pretty cool. Not a lot of bigger trees here. A lot of mid-aged trees. But cool just in general. One on the right looks a little big. And we're going to continue to push up. Really nice views. A little more hazier today, but you can see Brushy Peak and then Mount Diablo to the left of that. On a clear day, I'm sure that it'll go even further. But a lot of really remarkable views. Alright, so we're going to continue through. I got Beth behind me. It's always a good idea to keep an eye on your partner to make sure they're okay and that you're in sight. Because I didn't know this area as much as Beth did. She'd been through here a few times. So I used her wisdom in just the travels in general. But it's always good to keep a close eye on each other. You don't want to distance off too much. And if you do, at least you're communicative about it and you know what's going on and where you're going to stop, and you have radios and vice versa. So here we are. We're going to climb up this rock here. I'm going to show you the marker. Slifer Rock, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm probably not. He was a famous individual. Did a lot of ranching and stuff in the area. They apparently, I think they spread his ashes in the area, from my understanding. I can't remember if they buried him or spread the ashes, but I think it was the ashes they spread in the area. So it's got his spirit roaming around here somewhere. And there we are, all those incredible views. Just breathtaking. And there's Beth coming up there, and we're keeping an eye on each other. So there's some older oaks now that we're starting to run into. There's a lot of mistletoe on them in places. As I continue up, you can see a lot of this rock that's still deposited everywhere. Just everywhere. So this is a really cool tree. It just really was awesome. I'll show you a better image here. But just remarkable. And I think it was a blue, but I can't remember. And then also, this is Marietta Falls. A lot of people like to hike up here in the spring, check out Marietta Falls. It was pretty impressive. I'd say, I don't know if I'd go all the way up for Marietta Falls. I'd go all the way up for trees, but that's just me. So there's a lot of those big rock outcroppings. This is an old oak tree here. Absolutely stunning. And this is a blue. Just beautiful, big tree. One of many. I did not have enough footage to take all the trees that I had saw. And this is Johnny's Pond. I didn't get to see Johnny at all, but and this is right before we get into Stewart Camp. Stewart Camp, a good scoutmaster back in the day. But here's another oak. This is another blue. I kind of got a lot of the grandfather vibe with this one. I thought this one had a lot of importance. This is the same tree that I had that was behind me in the intro video. But just remarkable. I mean, all these trees that are just up here. So here we are, the bathroom with the garbage can, which is always nice to have a garbage can there so you can throw away your wrappers and stuff, drop some of that weight down. Sometimes you don't get that benefit, so it's a luxury. It's just stunning around here. There's a fly flying around. You'll see in a minute to certify there's a bathroom nearby. And then there's a lot of California bays. So my belief is that the California bays kind of eventually took over. And I'll get more into that in a minute. And here we are. Alright guys, check out this valley oak. This is an ancient valley oak for sure. Wow, this thing is old. We're going to go check it out. So this is an ancient valley oak just remarkable. It looks like something out of a, you know, creepy kind of Sleepy Hollow movie. Just beautiful though, just absolutely beautiful. Um, it was just really remarkable. I'll give you guys some time here to kind of just reflect on it for a bit. And all the other trees that are around it are all they're great pines. So the pines must have just taken over. Okay, so where are we going? This is a buckeye grove. Older, real old buckeyes that are all growing in here, and they got their own little area, and it's just devoted strictly to them. And it's just really, really special. And there was also a lot of poison oak that was changing colors as well and kind of growing up on the buckeyes. You can see, just stunning. Absolutely stunning. I was pretty impressed by that. And then there's a lot of big oak trees that are far back in the corner there. You can kind of see them. I would consistently keep finding big, older, ancient oak trees all hidden in groves of trees that weren't even oaks in sections. And also I found a lot of massive rock outcroppings as well that were kind of just taking over certain sections, so that probably also has a lot to do with the nutrients. Trees seem to be pretty healthy in here, and the ones that are dead were definitely big at one point. Okay, so this is a canyon oak, a real ancient old canyon oak that's right next to Stewart Camp. Really cool. It's just a multi-trunk that's spreading out in different directions. I was pretty impressed to see this guy. And they got a goldy flaky to their leaves at the bottom of the leaf, on the back side of the leaf. So behind Stewart Camp, if you look quite a ways, you see another large oak tree way back there. And I can't remember if it was a blue or a valley. And it's way back here. Way back there. And it's just all growing high up. And it looks like it's dead, but it's actually not. There's a ton of growth on the very top of it. But just stunning. All hidden back there. And everything around it is California bays. So it also brings me to the question of, was it just by itself? So there's a bunch of stumps here that look like they're pretty old. So they must have chopped those down and got some wood for firewood or something in the time of way back in the day when ranchers and stuff in the earlier part of the 1900s were living on the land. And this was a cool tree here, really impressed. This is in the upper part of the ridge before you get into Marietta Falls. And there's a bunch of these. It seems like in this area it's just all older trees. I mean, me and Beth didn't really see much young trees. Alright, so here we go. victory. I did find a pretty good amount of black oaks coming up here, and some ancient black oaks as well. But here is an acorn of a black oak. Alright, well thanks so much for watching. Thanks for being part of this channel. Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate you guys all. Have a wonderful day.